Hello, welcome to the Safe Zone, a group of friends who are all insane. My name is Harvey, and today we'll explore how movies gave me my love for writing. Imagine a 7-year-old watching the 2008 movie The Dark Knight, directed by Christopher Nolan and written by the Nolan brothers, with a story by Jonathan Nolan and David S. Goyer. Imagine that 7-year-old would, over the years that followed, would have memorized the entire movie's dialogue. Scenes and scenes and scenes and scenes would go, and he would say every single word, line by line, word for word, in the entire context and dialogue tone that the movie would offer. And if it wasn't clear enough for you, that 7-year-old, yeah, that's me. I fell in love with the movie's dialogue scenes in a way that, well, was unexpected for me at the time, given the fact that I did indeed love books, but I was more looking forward to, seeing the Batman instead. Now I'm a comic book fan. That's what I went for the movie to see, and unfortunately, I left the theater with a love of writing. Imagine the way how the Joker was dancing around Batman in the interrogation scene with his words, openly infuriating him with the subtext that he and Batman are two sides of the same coin.
To them, you're just a freak. Like me.
And later on teasing him about the relationship he has with Rachel and how much he loves her.
For a while there, I thought you really were a dent. The way you threw yourself after her.
Which then leads to the emotional choice he has, that Batman has to make in order to save either Rachel or the White Knight of Gotham, Harvey Dent. Now, this decision ultimately leads to the chaos that Joker was talking about later on. Now, this chaos here would focus on the breakdown of Batman, the vilification of him to Gotham, the lies that has to be told in order for to live Harvey Dent above the squalors of his persona Two-Face. And that persona indeed comes to the fact that even Commissioner Gordon has to recognize that even Batman has to be vilified in order to save the city.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I can do those things, because I'm not a hero. Not like Dent. I killed those people. That's what I can be.
No, you can't. You're not.
I'm whatever Gotham needs me to be.
And in the end, the Joker won. He turned Gotham's best hero to a villain, and his new villain to the hero itself. Even though the villain was a hero before, he's no longer a hero now. Even the talk in the hospital between Harvey and the Joker, how Harvey tugs the leash Dent has on his darker side, how each word was like a knife cutting at Dent's sanity, turning him into a wild dog, just like he describes later on for the Joker. No, I was always a bookworm. I still am today. But it was these scenes that inspired me to write. It showed me that no matter how much something looks magnificent, it means nothing if it has no substance behind it. And for that, I offer two examples going forward with this time here. One, yes, we're talking about that. I know it's been talked about to death, but listen to me. Hear me out. I'm new on this channel here, right? Shotgun this time. It's time for me, of course. Secondly, we'll also be looking at the American Psycho. Back to the topic at hand. Now, I must say that The Rise of Skywalker is indeed a beautiful movie to look at. The Disney CGI budget is immense, if I must say so myself. Shots were made that would inspire wonder in people like Sean, as he told you in the previous video before. Link in the description, and it should be on the right there if Sean put it up there, Now, however, I don't know what Chris Terrio, J.J. Abrams, and Derek Connolly were smoking during the writers' meeting, but the writing is absolute ass. Nothing makes sense in the movie. Scenes go by quickly. They just go, finish, finalize with nothing. Entire subplots will get no chance to be resolved. Characters act nothing like they were before. Death is reduced to a minor subplot for the characters they get over them within the span of 2 minutes. Chewie said was just here and gone. Here and gone. But anyways, and I won't even speak about the atrocity that was The Last Jedi that caused all this mess between JJ and his writers team. Because what Ryan Johnson did with that movie, Jesus. But anyway, moving on to the American Psycho, right? A movie that looks like a plain cake compared to the 10-layer cake that is The Rise of Skywalker. The American Psycho. I mean, just that opening scene alone, where you have that narration about his skincare routine that shows a level of vanity that Patrick has within himself.
In the morning, if my face is a little puffy, I'll put on an ice pack while doing my stomach crunches. I can do 1,000 now.
The dialogue between him and his assistant at his apartment when he decides not to immediately kill her because he may show that he has some kind of affection for her, even though throughout the movie he views women as a pieces of objects and likes to throw around and kill at his will. Or even the magnificent, tense conversation he has with Paul Allen before his death and the conversation he has with Detective Kimball after Paul Allen's death. Thank Mary Harrow and Guinevere Turner for the screenplay and Bret Easton Ellis for the magnificent novel that it was based on. Now, I could go on about movies like Equilibrium and The Matrix that gives you an honorary degree in philosophy, or a series like Daredevil gives dimension to his characters that makes shows like The Flash look like, well, non-existence. Writing in itself is a pathway to perfect art. At times, it may lead to some incorrections that may lead to absolute disaster, as in shows like The Last of Skywalker and The Last Jedi, or even movies like The Room.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Which, I know it's a cult favorite, but come on. So, thank you for listening to me here today, and click the link in the description there for my poems on Wattpad. This is Henry here signing off for The Safe Zone, and Sean, you're gonna have a hell of a time.